Ooh, you know the vibes. You know the vibes. You know the vibes. You know the vibes. When this goes on, Brooklyn, you already know what's happening right now. Yeah, you already know what's going on. What's up, everybody? It's your girl, Lady Kootoure, the voice of all media diva, and welcome to episode 10. Crazy, right? Episode 10 of Koutoure's Vinyl Sessions. And we got another one. We got another one. And I wasn't going to um, let this day go by because on September 29th, 1998, in my opinion, the game was changed. The game was changed. He was already out. You know what I'm saying? He had two albums prior to this one. You know, a lot of people was, kind of sleeping on it. I wasn't. Because, I've been a fan since Hawaiian Sophie. But, hey, that's another video for another day. But, hold on. Before we get into that, I want to, again, thank you all for joining and supporting. Please make sure you hit subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend that we all win. Episodes 1 through 9 are already up and running. Make sure you check those episodes out. Also, follow me on social media at Lady Kootoure, LadyKootoure on Instagram, at Lady Kootoure1 on TikTok. It's up here on the screen. If you want to send kudos, if you have constructive criticism, respectfully, suggestions, what vinyl you want me to, talk about, because I'll talk about any genre, any artist, does not matter. We can go from hip hop, R&B to rock, gospel, folk, country, yacht rock. It does not matter. I'm eclectic, okay? I don't discriminate. Just hit me up in my email, thevoiceofallmediadiva@gmail.com. It's up here on the screen. If you would like to donate to make this bigger and better, which is my manifestation, my Venmo and my Cash App are on the screen as well. All right, so we got that out the way. Let's get into one of the greatest hip hop albums of all time. One of the greatest. In my opinion, we could have a discussion. Hey, if I get to 1,000 followers on YouTube, we can have a live discussion. We can go in, okay? But again, on September 29th, 1998 was a magical moment. And that was on a Tuesday. And you know how I remember that was on a Tuesday? Because back in the day, if you know, you know, especially my Gen Xers, that's when albums dropped on a Tuesday. The marketing was crazy. You saw commercials and posters and everything when the album was going to drop, and we couldn't wait till Tuesday. But again, September 29th, 1998, Jay-Z's Volume 2, Hard Knock Life. Let me tell you something. Now, it's crazy how, a lot of people really don't follow music, but I have, back years ago, I had conversations with people, and a lot of people thought this was his first album. But actually, 1998, this was his third album. This was his third album and a commercial and critical breakthrough. It was debuting at number 1 on the Billboard 200 and becoming his first number 1 album. And that was because of the Hard Knock Life song where he sampled Annie. And that is what I feel pushed him out there, and crossed over, just, to be honest. Now, it earned him his first Grammy for Best Rap Album, though he boycotted the ceremony, over the disrespect towards hip hop. The album's success was driven by the hit single again, Hard Knock Life, the ghetto anthem, which, as I said, it famously sampled the music Annie, and it transferred him into a superstar and a major player in American pop culture. In other words, this album was the one that basically crossed him over. Now, here's just a little bit of fun facts of Jay-Z's Hard Knock Life album. Now, as I stated, he topped the Billboard 200 for 5 consecutive weeks. Now, the album was like a runaway success, and it was selling over 350,000 copies in its first week. See, back then, when you sold like over 100,000 or even 250,000 in the first week, that was a big accomplishment. Now, of course, it's all about streams, which is annoying, but that's another topic for another day. And it has since sold over 5 million copies in the US. Crazy, right? Now, everybody knows Jay-Z, Hova, Sean Carter, Mr. Carter, Jigga Man, whatever. Born in Brooklyn, December 4th, 1969, from Marcy Projects. Listen, this man has come a long way, okay? And as I had stated, the impact and legacy on this album, it was a commercial breakthrough for him. It was a cultural shift, okay? The album represented a significant shift, introducing Jay-Z to a broader audience and cementing his transition from a respected artist to a major axis of American pop culture. When I tell you, when this album came out, and again, my mother, God rest her soul, she did not really care for rap music. It was certain rap artists she cared about, like she, could deal like a Tribe Called Quest and something like that because it played jazz music and, some of the artists that sampled her music from back in the day. But with Jay-Z, when that Hard Knock Life came out, and that's when she fell in love with Jay-Z, and she had been loving Jay-Z ever since. Again, rest in peace to my mom. But yeah, of course the Hard Knock Life Ghetto Anthem became a major hit. And producers on the album were ranged from Swiss Beats to Timbaland, DJ Premier. The album also included Foxy Brown, Ja Rule, Memphis Bleak, DMX, Too Short, Kid Capri, The Lox, Beanie Siegel, Sauce Money, Jermaine Dupri, just to name. I mean, everybody, the Rangers, like he had a whole Big Jazz, a Mill. Like he had everybody on this record, okay? In the comments, what was your favorite track? Mine was, this is classic. It was no skips. Like every song on this album hit, okay? Every song on this album. Now, not to mention, let's not forget, when this album came out in 1998, in 1999, February of 1999, that is where the Hard Knock Life Tour came about. And that consisted of, Jay-Z, DMX, Ja Rule, Method Man and Redman. And it was a lot of guests, Memphis Bleak. I think in some states, it was like he brought out a lot of people, but it was just like, yeah, it was Ja Rule, DMX, Method Man, Redman, of course, and Jay-Z. That was my first hip hop concert. I went to the show 3 times. Don't judge me, judge yourself. And on the third show, which was my birthday weekend in 1999, I got to meet Jay-Z for the first time. And when I tell you, he's one of my top MCs. If you know, you know. And also after the tour in 2000, they had put together a documentary and came out with a movie Backstage, which showed their life on the road, the clips from the concert, what went on backstage, conversations, them goofing around, and so on and so forth. So, yeah. So, this is one of my favorite Jay-Z albums. Let me know in the comments. Hey, thank you, Jay, for all that you've done for the culture and what you continue to do for the culture. You have come a long way. So, Brooklyn. Hey, again, make sure you subscribe. Episode 11 is coming. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you follow me. I love y'all for listening. Thank you so much. Peace.